Alrighty, welcome. Well, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, yes, I'm Mary. I love empowering soulful entrepreneurs to share their magic through soul aligned branding and website design. I'm currently in Austin, Texas. I'm living in the United States, and yeah, huge fan of everything that you do. So I'm always like, oh, okay, you're teaching that? Yeah, sign me up. I want to learn more.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I've been working with the guide since last year, so it's almost like a year since
Yeah.
we started working together.
Mhm.
We did a program together, and then I bought into all the things, so honestly, the guides have never left me. And now that I'm in the channeling course, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, we're really connected."
I'm so glad you joined the channeling course. What did you think of the classes?
You know, I think they're amazing, 1. 2, I love the live classes, because I mean, it's one thing to like, on your own time, you watch the videos that you had put together, and those are really great. But when you're in the group and, people are asking questions, you're like, oh, yeah, I was wondering about that too. So it's really great because, that community factor, you're just like, oh, I didn't think of that. But that's exactly what I want to know too. So I love that.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, because it's really helpful when other people are asking basically the same question that you want to know. So tell me, what are some of the things that you have kind of channeled for yourself?
You know, um, it's been, I mean, so many things I haven't honestly kept track. But, it's just been a lot of, like, more, like, daily guidance
Yeah.
and, like, "Ooh, yes, this is good," or, like, "No, let's not do that." And more, like, reasoning for, like, why I'm pursuing and, going in the directions that I'm going in. So, it literally is guidance and getting answers, and, yeah, I mean, I love it. I honestly, like so in the beginning I was like, "Is this me or are these my guides?" Like, I was doubting myself, but no, it's a very distinct voice, and so I've learned that, and I've just learned to trust,
Oh, very
and
good.
I honestly haven't gone in with, like, deep questions because I'm like, I don't know what they're gonna say." So I am a little hesitant, but it's almost like when you go to the gym, right? Like your goal might be to run 5 miles, but you're gonna start running by 1 mile at a time. So I'm just telling myself, baby steps, I'm gonna get there. But it's really just like a trust thing and just believing that, it really is working. But when you are channeling, so I can channel sometimes I'll get messages, but I actually like writing because I don't know, maybe it's just like a habit. Like if I'm writing it, it just more, I don't know, it just more makes more sense to me. So yeah, I haven't gone in for the big questions, but just everyday little questions. Oh my god, it's amazing.
That's really good. What are the little questions that you ask? Like I ask so many random questions also.
Oh my god, I can't think of anything right now, but I think it's more just like gaining clarity because right now I'm in a place in my life where there's a lot of things moving and there's a lot of things that are, either coming into fruition or like need to leave. I mean, as the whole world, we're all transitioning, right? So I'm not the only one going through that. So I think it's more of just like, yes, let's keep going this way, or like, no, let's leave that behind. And I can't think of any exact examples right now. And the only one that comes to mind is so I am planning on making a move again. I was originally in California, then I came to Texas. I love it here, but I actually might end up in Georgia. And so I've just kind of been like, do we move? Do we not move? And so getting guidance on that, like the move is gonna happen. I don't know the exact date or whatnot, but it's just like just surrender. And it's so falling into that whole surrender. It's really funny because all these pieces have been starting to come together. I'm like, "Oh, that's what they meant. It's gonna happen. Not tomorrow, maybe not next month, but the pieces are gonna come together." And so that's been really beautiful in itself, so
Oh, I'm so happy for you. Yeah, I
yeah.
think sometimes like there's so many big questions, but I feel like the big questions are made up of little questions.
Yeah, and the guides are like, sometimes you've channeled so many things. I'm like, this one time you said this one time you said that. And I'm like, it all starts to make sense. Maybe because I've heard it, like I said, I've been with you for almost a year. And a lot of things it's just like, the power of repetition, hearing it again, it might click on the third time, the fifth time, the first time. So I'm just like, it all starts to make sense. I'm like, yeah, that's what she meant. Oh my God, that totally makes sense now. So yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. You know what? I'm the same way. Like sometimes when the guys tell me something the first time, I'm like, talk to the hand. Like, like I'm not open to it. So it takes a few times, and that's just normal, like that.
Yeah.
And we do need repetition in order to kind of just get used to things.
Yeah, exactly. So I find that, and it's funny because sometimes I'm like, is that really what you mean? They're like, I'm like, okay. Again, it's that trust thing. I think just because, if you would have told me 3 years ago or before I became more spiritual, like about channeling, I'd be like, I don't even know what that means. Like, I know.
Yeah.
But now that, I'm way more spiritual. I had my spiritual awakening like 2 years ago. I've done a lot of healing work. I've worked with a lot of different people that supported me through to get me to where I am now. I'm like, oh, this all makes sense. So yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations on, finding new home, because moving is a really big deal. It really affects
Yeah.
you. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. I think some other things now that I'm remembering, I've asked a lot about like my health, like what like the best next steps to take in my health journey. And again, it's just baby steps. They don't tell me like go join, the half marathon right now. They've never told me that. They're just like, hey, you know what? Today go for a walk. It's gonna feel really good for you. So I go for a walk and then I get inspired on my walk and I'm like, this is why I had to go on my walk.
Did you ask anything about work?
Buy this, hire that person. They don't give me all of that, which is really great because I don't know if I can handle all that. Again, it's like the gym thing, right? I want to run 5 miles, but I'm gonna start 1 mile at a time. So yeah.
Yeah. So like you've also asked some things like around like your projects, your work as well, because you're building your
When it
yeah.
comes to business, I haven't asked specific questions, but I have like in the middle of asking, other life questions, I think I've just received like other messages about that. But my business is doing really good right now, so I haven't had to ask about it.
Really
I'm
good.
really grateful I could say that. I haven't gone to them and be like, what's going on? No, I'm in a really good place with everything that's been happening. So yeah, I
I'm
haven't.
Yeah, I mean, just like since like we first started working together, it's just been like a huge transformation to see you grow.
Oh, absolutely. I remember last year, it was around this time that I was like, I don't have a plan. I don't know what I'm doing. How do I get clients? How do I grow my income? La, la, la. All the questions. And then, yeah, no, I was taught so many, like, it was all the little things again, right? They were like, do this, try that, imagine this, think of this. And like, just taking all of that in, I'm like, oh yeah, the guides told me to do this. Oh, I should do this to manifest that, and like all of this. So it's all helped.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Yay, Mary. You're like an exemplary student.
Yeah. I was a very good student in school.
Yeah, definitely. I can tell.
Yeah,
Really
I mean,
appreciate
I just they give you ways to improve your life or make things better, and in my case, even easier. So I'm like, why not follow it? Why would I go the hard path? That's what I did my whole life.
that's such a good. So, what would you say to people who are thinking about joining class, but they're like, kind of, I don't know.
Do it. You'll regret not having done it sooner. One that take time to like here's the funny thing. I'm like, don't take time to learn it because there's not a lot to I don't want to say there's not a lot to learn because it's not like a 10-step process where like step 1 you do this, step 2 you do that. It's more of just like, well, for me, it was finding my rhythm, learning to trust and surrender and allowing them to like, communicate with me. And I always thought it was a 10-step process, which is why I was like, well, let me buy in the course and then I'll learn all the steps. But the way the guides explained it, the guides have explained it in different ways of like how to, I guess you could say, tune in. Um, and yeah, I mean, I would say if you want life to get better, if you have been, getting that nudge, like, I am interested in this, and like, you should take the next step and join. It's gonna be amazing. And I mean, so much has improved for me, and I've only been in the class since, I don't know, it's been like maybe
Couple
6 weeks
months.
now.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks now, maybe 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 to 6-ish weeks. But okay, let's say under 90 days, okay? But even so, that's made a huge difference for me. And it's been, with everything that's been going on, it's just, at least for me, the world could be really noisy. And I can get easily overwhelmed. And so it's really nice to have that tool to be like, okay, I don't need to actually listen to everything that's going on out there. I actually can just like tune into this one channel and get the answers that I need there. So that's been really, really amazing for me and helpful. So I would say if you're feeling the same way, if you resonate with my story, then come on, do it. It'll be fun. And just trust and like surrender and don't overthink it. I think that was my thing in the beginning. I was just overthinking everything. I'm like, well, is this even right? Is this my voice? Is this them? Is this that? Like, I had 1,000 questions. It's all just probably my old conditioning. But no, once you start to channel, you'll understand what it, like, there's a very distinct difference from like you thinking out loud and actually channeling. It's a very different voice, at least for me.
You know what? Thank you so much for saying that, because that's like the most common question I get from everybody. How do you know it's my voice? But I'm really glad you're not the only person who feels that way, because it is a very different. It's a different voice. That's all. It's so hard to explain, right? It's like no, cannot really explain with
It
words.
is. Yeah, but it's one of those things you can't explain it, but you'll know, and then
You
you'll
know.
be like, oh, okay. And then, yeah, I mean, don't be afraid of the other side. I mean, this is all there for us. Like, like, there's so many things I could say, but you're gonna explain it when you channel because you provide so much good information. Honestly, if you ever have questions, just watch a video, or if there's a live class, tune in because you're gonna probably get all the answers that you need or you've been looking for. And that's a really great thing. It's just like you think you're buying into one thing, but you're actually getting 1,000 things, and that's really awesome.
Thank you. Buy one, get 1,000 things free. I really need to use
Literally,
that
like
as
you
my
went
tagline.
for your business, but then you end up like, learning about life and love and, health and all the other things. Maybe your relationships and things like that. So yeah, it's buy one, get 1,000.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary. I am so grateful.
Of course. Oh, I'm grateful for you. Thank you for, presenting this and being, being there to like, even when you're not there, you're there. Whether I'm learning new things or, I'm just really grateful. I have, you've taught me how to do all this. So thank you.
Okay, well, lots of love.
Yes.